Most people never question their default assumptions. They live inside invisible cages made of old beliefs and stories. If you don't change your mindset, you're going to keep approaching life with that same mindset. You'll keep repeating the same patterns, missed opportunities, failed relationships, plateaued growth. This is one of the reasons why I often tell guys, like, the work never stops when it comes to this stuff, especially when you're working on relationship type stuff. The work never stops because we have these paradigms, and you can't rewrite 20, 30, 40 years of programming in a single book reading. You can't do it in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. It's got to be continuous. Okay. Now you could read the book and then you can listen to it on repeat, and that's going to help start rewiring some of that kind of stuff. But even once you've listened to it, because in the book, I invite you to read or listen to this 10 to 15 times, right? Because just that repetition by itself will start changing your mindset for you. Even if you do read it 10 to 15 times, if you stop reading it, eventually those old paradigms are going to start bubbling to the surface, because those neural pathways never quite go away completely, right? And so you got 40 years of programming there. It's going to be so easy to slip back into that old programming if you don't at least revisit this type of stuff at least once a year, right? You guys ever have any friends that it just seems like no matter what they do, like everything turns to crap for them? Like they can never catch a break. Let's see, hold on. They're always like, they're just on the verge. They're just on the verge of success. They're just on the verge to catch that big break. Or maybe you have a coworker who sabotages their own progress. They do that all again and again. Or maybe you know somebody, I see guys like this in the space all the time. They'll get into a new relationship and everything will be good at first, and everything will be going so good that they somehow self-sabotage that crap, right? Maybe you've done that. Have you done that? You've been in, like, every relationship you've ever been in, somehow you find a way to self-sabotage it. It's up here. It's all up here. While you guys think about that for a minute, this might be a short episode today. I decided not to do a parable since I was talking about Robert Kiyosaki and, Edison and Nikola Tesla and, the Steve Jobs and Wozniak and stuff like that. So I decided not to write up a parable today. But let me ask you guys, we just had our pack hangout last night, and some of you guys weren't there. So when would now be a good time to run with the wolves, brother? Bear Club? Not anymore.
What's broken, you lead like a man again. No pity, no therapy, just fire, just flame. Cold bed, broken home, midlife drift, feeling alone. You don't need hacks, blogs, lies. You need men with fire in their eyes. We rebuild from the ground up. No excuses, no soft stuff. Telegram lit 24/7. Brothers locked in steel, not heaven. Step inside the pack. We don't fall, we attack. Truth, fire, presence, we bring it back. Masculine pride, no time to slack. Step inside the pack. Drop your past, claim your track. No therapy talk, no playing small. We sharpen blades, we take it all.
Give me that too sweet, baby. And then, guys, if you want to work with me directly, you can. You can book a call at call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. Yeah, I like to dress pretty relaxed, but I am a certified master life coach. I am a certified master NLP practitioner, and I help thousands of guys worldwide with their relationships and stuff. So book a call with me. If you're feeling froggy about that, let me put this back up. I've also written 4 books, if you didn't know. I'm working on the 5th one right now. Hopefully have that out and ready by December. All right. We've got 3 pillars that we need to work with here. Okay. We've got belief, assumptions, and intention. These are going to be, Yeah. That's what we're going to work with here, because we're pretty much going to wrap up. a short episode today. So this is how we change this all around, right? We have belief, assumptions, and attention. So let's break down what these are and master these. So with belief, what do you believe? What do you believe to be true? You got to sit down and actually write out some things that you fundamentally believe, right? Maybe you believe in a higher power, right? I do. I believe in a higher power. I don't know about you, but I believe in a higher power. Maybe that's a belief, right? But maybe if that is your belief, why do you believe that? Right? Maybe it's because you were raised to be Christian or Jewish or Muslim or whatever, right? And so that religion is a part of your upbringing and a part of your belief system because you've just been raised that way. But have you ever sat down and thought about like why you believe whatever it is that you believe? Most people don't. They don't even question it, right? But what about your capabilities? What do you believe about your capabilities, your future? What's even possible for you? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about, man, is this all life ever is good? Is this all life ever is going to be? You ever think about that? Or do you think this just is how life is? Those are both beliefs, right? Like you sort of, but it depends on how you're looking at things. But if you know in your heart of hearts that there's more for you out there, you just don't know how to get it yet. It's something subconscious is holding you back from that. So we got to generate some new assumptions. And so, like I said before, I was reading a lot of Neville Goddard, and he talks about this thing called the law of assumption. But what he says is that you consistently experience what you assume to be true, even if it's unconsciously. And it's funny, I read somewhere once, or I saw it somewhere. I've seen it multiple times, but I've heard that self-proclaimed lucky people, right? People that truly believe they're lucky, they are lucky people, right? And there's a reason why they believe that they're lucky, but they believe it so much that they're the type of people that even when something bad happens, something good comes out of the experience, right? Like they can step in dog shit and pick up their shoe and find a diamond ring in it, right? Those guys, that's what I'm talking about, like lucky people. Those types of people have the assumption that they're lucky, right? I knew a guy one time. He worked for a network outsourcing company, a networking and phone system outsourcing company in San Diego. I can't remember his name. And they would do like cabling jobs and like all sorts of stuff, right? Anyway, he was an interesting cat because he would go to these fundraisers and these galas, and they would always have raffle, offerings. And so he would always buy up tickets, and he had the fundamental assumption that he always would win the grand prize. I always win these things. And he always would. Now, he did say he had a secret to it. He said he would, when he would put the ticket in the pot, he would always bend it, right? He would always bend it a certain way. And he goes, for whatever reason, whenever I bend it, it sort of finds its way to the top and people just sort of gravitate towards that. Is that true? Or is it just that he assumes that's true? And so he does that, and then he just wins because of the law of assumption, right? But it's interesting. If you assume something is going to turn out a certain way, it most likely will turn out that way. It's fascinating to test out, right? Just assume everything's going to turn out okay, and things usually turn out okay, How do you expect the world to respond to you, right? Have you ever thought about that? How do you expect, like, if you're going to go out today and you're going to go somewhere, do you expect to get into an argument with the cashier at Walmart? Like, what are you expecting? Most people, they never question this sort of thing, right? For most people, if they do, it's negative, right? They assume, oh, they won't like me. She wouldn't like a guy like me. I better not go talk to her. I don't want to bother her. I'm assuming that I'm bothering her. I could never do a job like that. Have you ever talked yourself out of applying for a better job because you assumed you would never be able to get the hang of it? So you just never even tried?
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe now.